What things do bunnies love? Hello everyone, I am Mariska and I'm the bunny mom of 4 adorable rabbits. Today I'm going to tell you what things rabbits love, because we all want to make our bunnies happy, right? Let's start straight away with the first item, hopping through the garden. My rabbits love the garden. I have a fenced area in my garden in which my bunnies can freely hop around. They love hopping through the grass, lying in the grass, grazing from the grass. They also like trying to escape, so I'm trying to keep them in the fenced area. I can tell my bunnies are happy when they're outside and they can feel the wind in their fur. You know, we like to be outside too, so it's not healthy to be kept inside all the time. So the same goes for rabbits. Of course, it's very important to keep your bunny under supervision at all times, because being outside comes with dangers. There can be prey animals like cats or other animals depending on your country, or even predatory birds that can attack your rabbit from the sky. So please be very careful. There can also be toxic plants, so be careful your bunny doesn't eat anything that's not good for them. There's also the risk of your bunny digging tunnels, for instance in the earth or even in the grass when there's a weak spot. Fliepje loves digging in the garden, and sometimes I let her dig for a while and then I will just take the brush and, you know, brush all the loose earth back into the hole, and she doesn't like that. But I don't want her to dig a tunnel and escape, so at least she has had fun for a little bit. Being petted on and around the head. As you might have noticed, bunnies love being petted on and around the head. It's what bunnies do to each other. They love grooming each other, licking each other on the head, because they can't easily wash themselves on the head. I mean, they wash themselves using their tongue, so that's something they can't do themselves. So when you pet your rabbit, try petting him or her on the head, and you will notice they will love it. They will grind their teeth a little bit, and that's a sign they absolutely love what you're doing. They're enjoying it. I also like petting my rabbits in the neck. You have to be very careful, but sometimes I make this massaging motion. Sarah also loves it when I pet her right behind the neck on the beginning of her back. And then she sometimes pushes her head onto the floor, and that's an invitation for me to keep going and even caress her face. And sometimes I'm even allowed to clean her eyes, because rabbits can have, sometimes they have little tears or something, and the eyes can get a bit dirty. Rabbits usually clean each other's eyes because they cannot do that easily themselves. So when I carefully, rub my finger over the eye, and sometimes in the corner of the eye there's something a little, something that gets stuck, maybe a ball of hair and, juice from the eyes. I don't know how to describe that, but I sometimes try to remove that as well, so the eyes are clean again. But be very, very careful when doing that. Sweet fruits and vegetables. Rabbits love sweet fruits and vegetables like bananas and carrots, and I cannot blame them because these foods are full of sugar. And yes, I love sugar too. Be careful though to only give them these foods in small amounts, because sugar isn't very healthy, not for us and not for bunnies. But these treats can be given as rewards every once in a while when your rabbit has been very, very well, when he or she has been behaving well or has done something you like. Then you can give a small piece of fruit or vegetable as a reward. Enrichment toys. Enrichment toys are toys rabbits can play with and that sometimes give a little treat. For instance, like a snack roll or a snack ball. And they can throw or roll with these toys, and sometimes a little treat comes out. Rabbits love these toys because they like to play. They don't like boredom, of course. We don't like to be bored either. And rabbits love food, they love to play. So this is a good combination against boredom. You can also use empty toilet rolls to make your own enrichment toys, like I've shown you in the previous video. So be sure to check that one out. A friend. Nobody likes being lonely. Rabbits especially. Rabbits are group animals and they therefore love having a rabbit friend. If your rabbit has a companion, they can groom each other, they can lie next to each other, they can play with each other, they can communicate with each other. And of course we can be great companions too, but we don't speak the rabbit's language. And they do. Of course there are exceptions. Some rabbits don't like having a rabbit companion and they prefer having you as a friend. Flippy used to be a single rabbit when she lived with a previous owner. And somehow it looks like she hasn't really learned the skills of communicating with other rabbits. And since she's been living with me, she has had contact with other rabbits. Right now she lives downstairs with Sarah. And they sometimes, they make contact through the bars of their pens. But somehow she doesn't really know how to communicate. And Flippy and Sarah, they cannot live together because Sarah wants to attack Flippy and kill her. So that's not a good combination. But even with my other rabbits, Flippy cannot be bonded. Digging tunnels. Rabbits love digging tunnels because that's what they do in nature. It's their instinct, and when you see wild rabbits, they make warrens. They make these whole tunnel systems beneath the ground where they can spend their time during hot days or in cold winters. And there they make their families and they spend their spare time. And when they go above ground, they look for food and such. So that's something you still see in domestic rabbits. They like to dig. Sometimes you can see your rabbit digging in a corner of the room or maybe on the floor, and that's a sign he or she wants to dig. You can help your rabbit by giving it a digging box. If you have a garden, you can put a digging box in the garden and put earth or sand inside so your bunny can dig and the mess stays outside of your house. Some people also place a small digging box inside the house with some sand, but it will get a mess. But if you don't mind, your bunny will thank you for it. You can also make a different kind of digging box. Maybe you can save up empty toilet rolls and put them in a high box and they can dig inside of that. I've also seen boxes with plastic balls in which your bunny can play and dig. I have had one myself and sometimes I hid treats inside of it and the bunnies would go between the balls and that looked very, very cute. But at a certain moment my rabbits started destroying these balls, so be careful they don't start chewing on these plastic balls. Being talked to. Rabbits love being talked to in a kind, sweet voice. It can be very calming when they know you're around. I love saying sweet things to my bunnies when I'm petting them. I also love telling my bunnies stories, or sometimes when I'm cleaning the house or doing other things in the house, I just tell them what I'm doing or what I'm going to do next. So it's, maybe I would have talked to myself otherwise, but because I have bunnies, it's alright because I talk to them. Your rabbits love hearing your voice because they know it's you and you're familiar and they know you're the one giving them food and you're the safe place around them. Napping. Rabbits are crepuscular animals, which means they are most active in the early morning and in the evening. So rabbits spend a lot of their time napping during the afternoon. Of course there are exceptions, not every rabbit is the same, but I can tell my rabbits start napping mostly in the afternoon. And that's usually when I'm getting a bit tired as well, so sometimes we're all napping together. When your rabbit is fast asleep, make sure not to disturb him, because you don't want to be disturbed either when you're sleeping. So that's the difference. Sometimes a bunny is just relaxing and then you can go to him or her and start petting. But when your bunny is really asleep with the eyes closed, just be silent and keep your bunny in peace, because then he or she doesn't want to be disturbed. I've also noticed my rabbits get sleepy after a good meal, so they often start napping for a bit. Activity games. This depends on the rabbits you have, but a lot of rabbits love activity games. They love jumping through hoops or over hurdles. And this is a nice game to keep them active and reward them with treats. These are also very nice games because you're spending time with your rabbits. Rabbits love you and they love treats. And of course you love them too, so it's a nice game to, to teach them things and to see them being rewarded. Sitting on higher objects. I've noticed most of my rabbits love sitting on higher objects like chairs or stools or other things. This is also something that derives from their wild colleagues. Wild rabbits often like to sit on hills being on the lookout. Zira loves sitting on the dining table, on the edge of the sofa, on the garden furniture. She loves to sit there and, well, she can really look around or make this sweet face. And sometimes she also does this to, to draw my attention. She exactly knows when it's time for a carrot or for food. So then she loves jumping around and look at me to, to say, hello, it's time for a treat. I personally think it's very cute when they're sitting on top of something, and I love watching them. These are 10 of the things rabbits love, and of course every rabbit is different. So there might be things your rabbit never does or doesn't love at all. And of course there are many other things rabbits love, so I will save them for a future video. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like the video, don't forget to like it. And if you don't want to miss any future videos, there's the option to subscribe. And then we will see each other next time. Bye!